I want to suggest to you that letting an anti-vaxxer conspiracy theorist run America's health departments and health initiatives is a very, very bad idea. MSNBC's Von Hilliard interviewed Robert F. Kennedy Jr. in West Palm Beach, Florida yesterday, and talked to him about what do you plan to do? What is the plan here as far as all of the elements of medical that you will be overseeing? And it is very scary, including Bobby telling MSNBC that he plans to clear out entire departments of the FDA.
You say clearing out the corruption in your terms. Would that mean clearing out the top level federal service workers that are currently at the FDA and the CDC?
In some categories, I would say.
What does that look like? Yeah.
In some categories of workers, there are entire departments, like the nutrition departments at FDA, that have to go. That are not doing their job. They're not protecting our kids. Why do we have Fruit Loops in this country that have 18 or 19 ingredients, and you go to Canada and it's got 2 or 3?
Would you eliminate any of the agencies?
To eliminate the agencies, as long as it requires congressional approval, I wouldn't be doing that. And I can get the corruption out of the agencies. This is what I've been doing for 40 years. I've sued all those agencies.
He's done lawsuits up the wazoo. Here's what's really important to understand. Whenever I see, here's kind of like the way it works. I criticize this and I go, it's crazy to let Bobby Kennedy have at these government institutions. People come in and they go, David, you've been taken over by Big Pharma. Big Pharma is a disaster. The FDA is a disaster. They've all gotten so many things wrong. And I would say that's right. The FDA has gotten things wrong. Big Pharma certainly has put profit over health many times before. But that's a reason to strengthen the FDA and to make regulation more functional. The solution, when we say, hey, the FDA doesn't always get it right, and Big Pharma has an incentive to lie and cheat for profit, if that's what you believe. Why would the solution be to clear out entire departments of the FDA? The solution would be better and arguably more regulation, and that's not what I'm hearing from Bobby Kennedy Jr. There are people who may not, if you're 24 right now, you were 20 when Trump left office, you were 16 when Trump came into office, you were 15 when Trump ran his campaign. You might not remember how utterly insane it was to see Trump do this sort of stuff all over the country. Robert F. Kennedy also weighing in about vaccines.
You have been a crusader on questioning vaccines. Are there specific vaccines that you would seek to take off the market?
Oh, I'm not going to take away anybody's vaccines. I've never been anti-vaccine.
You will not take any vaccine that is currently on the market.
If vaccines are working for somebody, I'm not going to take them away. People ought to have a choice, and that choice ought to be informed by the best information. So I'm going to make sure the scientific safety studies and efficacies are out there, and people can make individual assessments about whether that product is going to be good for them.
Would that include COVID vaccines that are currently on the market?
I want the best science for every vaccine.
It is part of that. During the pandemic, the height of the pandemic, you were questioning the FDA and calling them out for approving the emergency authorization of the COVID vaccines. If you had been in charge of the FDA at that time, would you have blocked the authorization of the COVID vaccines, like you were suggesting publicly?
What I was saying at that time is the vaccines are not going to prevent transmission, which they were telling the public that they would. They were saying, you need to take this vaccine in order to protect grandma. I knew in May of 2020 that the vaccines were not going to protect against transmission because I was actually reading the monkey studies then.
But you would not have told the FDA. You would not have told the FDA to block the authorization of the
I would have been honest with the American people.
And so you wouldn't have blocked it?
I would have been honest with the American people now.
So you wouldn't have.
All right, so we're not getting an answer there. And then finally on fluoride, RFK also weighing in.
He's also talked about fluoride in the U.S. water supply. You would seek to ban fluoride in the U.S. water supply?
Well, I would advise the water districts that are currently using it that there's a lot of new science out there. And in fact, there's a federal judge decision by an Obama-appointed judge on October 4th of this year in which he's to send EPA back to the drawing board and said, you've never done the safety studies on this. And by the way...
And so what does that look like? Without debating, without knowing, without going back and forth on the science?
By the way,
what it shows
it's
here.
lowering IQ in our children.
What would you, upon January 2025, we're 3 months away here, what would you actually do in your position inside of the White House?
I think fluoride is on its way out.
All right. So he says fluoride's on its way out. It lowers IQ and causes, I think he said, bone cancer there. This stuff has been studied pretty extensively. It is true, seemingly, that with very high fluoride doses, there can be an effect on IQ. Those are doses well beyond any municipality's fluoridation level that I'm aware of. So it is a theoretical risk, but that's the case with, I mean, so many different medications or treatments where at outrageously high doses, bad things happen, but nobody's suggesting those doses. My understanding on the bone cancer connection is that is also untrue. I want to know all the science on fluoride. I want to hear all of it. I want to understand all of it. The specific things that RFK is bringing up, to the degree that I've researched them, and it is somewhat of an extensive degree, they appear not to be true. But this is the direction we're going. This is the sort of stuff we are going to be fighting day after day after day in the forthcoming Trump administration. We've got to be ready to do it. On the bonus show today, we will talk about what now with Project 2025. We will talk about how new minimum wage and paid sick leave measures did on Tuesday. And we will also evaluate Bernie Sanders' diagnosis of what happened in this damn election. Bernie had a lot of interesting things to say, and we will discuss them and more on the bonus show. Sign up at joinpacman.com. Use the coupon code Not Again for 75% off the cost of a membership. Well, I wrote a book after a long journey and a ton of work. I am really thrilled with how it turned out, and I hope you'll read it. The book is called The Echo Machine, and in a nutshell, it looks at how American politics got so broken, who has already figured out solutions, and how we can try to fix it and stop the terror of Trump for the next 4 years. With Trump winning this election, the Echo Machine couldn't be more relevant, not only a warning about how we got here, but also about what might be coming and how to prevent the worst outcomes. We've got to stay engaged. We need a plan, and that's what the book is about. There's a belief out there that unless you have corporate media behind you, you can't have a successful political book launch, that it's not possible. I think we can prove that wrong. Order The Echo Machine today at davidpakman.com/echo on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Audible, Kindle, anywhere that books, ebooks, and audiobooks are sold. You can also call any local bookstore and say, please order me The Echo Machine by David Pakman. Wherever you get the book, you'll get the free pre-order perks, including the signed book plate. Head to davidpakman.com/free book stuff after ordering.